All right, boys and girls, today we're going to learn how to do some 1-point perspective. And 1 point means there's going to be one vanishing point, and perspective is the way we see things. Now, the way we're created as human beings is we have two eyes, and because we have two eyes, when we see things, we see things in 3D or three-dimensionally. So we're going to make our city in 3D. So the idea is to make it look like we're looking up in the sky at skyscrapers. So they're going to be all around us, and they're going to be in 3D and in 1-point perspective. So the first thing we have to do is we have to add our vanishing point. So the vanishing point is where everything's going to end up. It's right in the middle of our page. So I'm just going to mark the center and add a little dot. Now, I already had my vanishing point there because I started my city. I just wanted you to see what our buildings may look like. And now I'm going to add a few with you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my page, and I'm going to add some more buildings with you. All right. So I have my vanishing point here. And the next thing I'm going to need is, if you have a ruler would be great. If you don't have a ruler, you can just use the edge of a piece of paper or an edge of one of your supplies, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a triangle with my ruler. So I line it up to the vanishing points. The vanishing point's in the middle. And then I place it off the edge of the paper. All right, and then I'm going to draw my first line. So I take my pencil, make sure I hold my ruler down so it doesn't wiggle or wobble, and I draw my line. So there it is. Then I move it to the other side. Now this is where it's up to you. You can make your building as wide or as skinny as you want. So I'm going to stop right about here, and then I'm going to add a second line, just like that. So now I have two lines coming down to the edge of the page. Now I'm going to draw the top of the building. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make my ruler parallel to the bottom of the page. So parallel means it is side by side and it never ever touches. So if I tilt it a little bit, it's no longer parallel. They're going to meet somewhere over here. So I need to straighten that up to make sure it is parallel to the bottom of the page. Then with my pencil, I'm going to connect my two lines together with my parallel line, just like that. Now all I have to do now is erase my lines that go to my vanishing point. And I have my first building, okay? Now you can stop there and just add windows to it and be done, but I feel like we're gonna see part of the other side. So I'm gonna add another side to my building. So here's how I do it. This time I'm going to use my ruler, line it up to the vanishing point, and I'm going to bring my ruler just a little bit away from this side over here. So I don't want it to be close. I don't want it to overlap. I want it to be a little bit farther away. Now, a cheat from me to you is, of course, you can draw your line all the way from the vanishing point down, but here's a little cheat from me to you. Instead of erasing all the time, I can just pretend that I drew my line. So I can actually skip where I'm going to erase it anyway. Now here's where the first line ended, right there. I want to go past that line a little bit. And what I mean by a little bit is probably the thickness of my pinky. And then I'm going to draw my next line down. So notice that this line is shorter than this one. Now to make it really stand out, I think I'm gonna overlap it, or not overlap it, but I'm gonna outline it with a Sharpie. That way you guys can see what my lines look like, okay? So let me grab a Sharpie. Oh, here it is. Perfect. And I'm gonna outline it for you. So that way you can see my lines. Okay. So here we go. Trace. Trace. And trace. And now I'm going to outline this one. Okay, so to connect my first side to my second one, I'm just going to use my ruler and I'm going to draw a line from the top of my building to the top of that line, just like so. And now my building is really done. Now what I'm going to do is, because my building is 3D, I'm gonna put one in a shadow. Just to make it simple on myself, I'm just gonna completely color it in black. That way I don't have to worry about windows and things over there. Okay. So now I have a building. How cool is that? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some windows. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do windows in 1.2. So I get to decide what kind of windows I want to do. I think I'm going to do just simple squares or rectangles. So I'm going to add some guidelines. So my guidelines are going to help me. So I'm going to start by adding some guidelines. So I line up to the vanishing point again. And this time I'm just going to draw a super light line. That is where my windows are going to stop. So I want to match it the same distance on this side too. All right, so there's gonna be where my windows are. And then all I have to do is do my parallel lines. So I'm gonna do this part in marker so you guys can see my windows. Now, if you don't wanna use your ruler for this, if you just wanna hand draw them, that's fine too. I'm okay with that. Okay, this is where it can be challenging. But I like my guidelines because it keeps everything looking 3D and in perspective. So you notice as you get further down, the windows get a little bit bigger. That's because they're getting closer to us, and things closest to us grow in size. And then I'm just gonna add the little sides of my windows, just like that. Then I can erase. All right, now because they're windows, I do like to add a little reflection just to make them really super shiny. I think it's just fun to draw. So I'm gonna add a little reflection. So I'm just gonna draw some little ovals on the side. Like they're shiny, okay? Now you can get even more detailed. You can add bricks or stones or whatever you want, but I'm gonna keep going. So now I have one building on this side. So I have two on this side, one on that one. So now I'm gonna turn my page again, and now I'm gonna do another set of buildings. So here we go. All right, boys and girls. So now all I have left to do is, after I've finished all my buildings, I added my windows, I'm gonna start to paint. Now I'm gonna leave my buildings white and black, but if you wanna color them in too, you can do that as well. The only thing I'm gonna paint is the sky, just so my buildings really pop out. And the technique I'm gonna use today to make my sky really look really nice is my wet on wet technique. That means your paper and your brush are gonna be wet, both. Both of them will be wet. So I start by painting just the sky, not my buildings. So I just paint where I want my color to go. Now, if you get it on your buildings on accident, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You'll just have a little bit of color and it might not be perfect, and that's okay. We're not looking for perfect. We're looking for artistic and creative. Okay, so I'm adding some water to my paper first, just where I want my color to go. Kind of work really fast because I want the water to stay wet. And now I'm going to use my color on top. And this technique will also lighten your color. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Notice it gets a little bit lighter. And the great thing about this is I can mix colors together. All right, boys and girls, so this one is all finished. I let the watercolor dry and I rubbed the salt away. And now I'm left with my 1 point city. So it looks like I'm looking up into the sky and seeing all these buildings around me. How cool. So I hope you guys had fun with this one. I'll see you next time. Bye.